I am Joseph. Have another taco. And it looks like there is nobody out here tonight. Well, one person out there. That looks like it might be Ethan. But, see, this has been the thing lately. And y'all know my rule about being over here. I stay at a distance when I've got the camera pointed at them. You got about 8 people over there just hanging out. They're not really in front of the ice building, but they're keeping an eye on them. And they are, enjoying life. And maybe being a little less absolutely, stuck on politics. Because politics haven't changed, have they? Well, if they need to take a mental health day, I get it. But the politics have changed. McQueen, did I get it? I don't know if I got it. I followed it, but I don't know if I caught it on the camera. You have to be flying fairly low for me to find you if you're in a plane. But they are indeed flying pretty low. So, I guess I'll start by asking, I'll start by switching over to live chat. I'll start by asking, is there anybody here tonight who was not here for the discussion last night about doom? Because I don't think we have to worry about doom. I mean, this shit ain't E1M1, but we can handle it if we're actually serious about working for it. If you got that joke, you were old. Waiting to see if anybody pipes up that they were here for, or not here for last night's chat. I'm going to try and see if I can clear up that image a little by doing the whole reset the bitrate thing. That looks a little better to me. Okay, the people speaking up are not saying they were not here last night, and I recognize the people who are here now. So last night we talked about how if we're willing to work for it, we are not looking at a doom situation where we can't win. We're looking at a harder fight, but we're looking at a fight we can win because they're pissed. People are fucking pissed. And they are fucking pissed at the Republican Party. They're kind of a little pissed at the Democrat Party, but they're really pissed at the Republican Party. Because the Republican Party has gone from simply being evil to being fucking evil, trying to make elections basically meaningless, and kind of doing their best to disenfranchise as many voters as possible. I mean, not just a little bit. This is full on. We love our bosses! Ooh, flicker, flicker. I have no idea what is being advertised on that bus. But not only are they being, just because Republicans have been trying to disenfranchise voters forever. And I mean, I've heard I've heard the accusations. Remember, I was a Republican. I've heard the accusations for at least a decade and a half more, probably. I've heard the accusations, and I didn't put any stock in them, because it's like, well, 80% of Americans believe that we should have some kind of voter ID. And that's all we're asking for. But you can see this year, Trump was trying to make it so you had to have your birth certificate and a voter ID, or a passport and your voter ID. And coupled with trying to make it so you have to have a passport, basically, he was simultaneously shutting down all the places you could get a passport. Why? Why do you say you're going to need a passport to vote, but also we're going to make it so you can't get a passport to vote? That's blatant efforts at voter suppression. This recent Supreme Court decision is basically Dred Scott 2026. It was telling the black man, in the South especially, you don't have a right to a vote. Because we're going to make it so you can walk in and you can cast a ballot, but it ain't gonna mean shit. That was a deliberate effort. And of course, they had it ready to go, which means it's something they've been planning for a while. And if it's something they've been planning for a while, Republicans are absolutely trying to make sure that black people and women especially don't vote, because black people and women tend to vote Democrat. Let me get my chair up here. Having to come up with some sort of organization method, because the taco truck is a bit full. Because I will need that. We have a situation right now where the Republican Party has unmasked themselves. And I'm sorry, I'm not really reading chat because I'm still setting things up. I was waiting for text me when you get home. I did. Not that it mattered. Not Katie. It wasn't Katie. It's my landlord, because we need a new heat pump. And I was tasked with doing the legwork on that. She said, we'll pay for it. We won't pay for it to be expedited, but we'll pay for it. So you're going to be, getting it in August. And I'm like, fuck. I genuinely, honestly do not know if I have to wait till August for a new heat pump, if I'm going to be able to live where I live. But can't afford it right now. It's $1,000 extra just to make it 5 weeks instead of 12. And that's just not in the cards right now. I get it, but it's also, yeah. Anyway. So I'm supposed to be texting her for what she wants me to do about that, besides, just call them and tell them to do it. I think she's going to ask me, can you ask them for a discount? I don't think they're going to give you a discount for installing this thing in August. I just don't think that's going to happen. But we'll see. Well, we won't see right now because she didn't answer me. And I was sitting around waiting for it. So I'm late, as usual. But this time it wasn't my fault. In either case, the other thing was I was at a Portland Net meeting downtown, downtown Net, which I used to live downtown. So when I did, I was part of downtown Portland Net. And they're getting started again, and I volunteered to help if needed. Mark Kelly 2028. My issue with Mark Kelly is that he is still very much connected to IPAC and still trying to push for Israel's agenda, including, continuing that war in Iran. He had a chance to vote against it and he didn't. And since he didn't, I have trust issues. I mean, I'm going to vote for, in the general election, I will vote blue no matter who. I'm just saying, if we put Mark Kelly forward, we're not really getting a change in the status quo of Middle East forever wars. Now, Mark Kelly could change that. He could renounce IPAC and these stupid forever wars, but he hasn't done it yet. And, if you go where his votes are in the wrong place. I do like AOC. So anyway, the reason why I brought up last night's topic, we got 54 people watching now. 17 likes. Please like the stream if you'd like more people to find it. The reason why I brought up last night's topic first is because Democrats came out today and did... I thought the topic was going to be some bullshit Donald Trump posted. And there is bullshit that he did in fact post. But what happened in Virginia today is that there is a time period for the Virginia Supreme Court to rehear and reconsider their decision to block the gerrymandering to counter Republicans' gerrymandering in Florida and elsewhere. There's a chance for that court to rehear it and redecide. Now, you're already typing. They ain't gonna fucking do it. They're not gonna change their decision. That court has already decided that it is going to fuck over not only Democrats in Virginia, because Virginia is, the Democrats in Virginia are underrepresented already. So not only are we going to fuck them over, we're going to fuck over the rest of the country and allow Donald Trump to order the Republican Party, which naturally goes, "Yes, master. Yes, my lord," or "Yes, your majesty," or whatever. "What is thy bidding, my emperor?" Whatever. They're doing it. And the court has made its decision. They're not going to, change their mind. So Democrats are thinking about changing the court. The court could have a mandatory retirement age. You must be this young to serve on the bench. If Democrats change the age of retirement, well, establish an age of retirement, and set it low enough, they flush this entire fucking Trump rah-rah court and appoint all new judges. Judges who will be a little less likely to be pro-MAGA. Is that playing dirty? Abso-fucking-lutely. Do we care anymore? Well, the problem is that some of us do. I have to say, I am not one of them. I am not one of them. Doing the grid thing. The thing is, Democrat states have largely done that. Oregon is an exception. And Republican states have not. Basically, squares, except when absolutely necessary, to give populations their reasonable vote. Maybe you include some, metro area boundaries in it, which may not be neat grid lines, but genuinely fair apportionment of the population for districts, Democrats largely have been doing that. Republicans largely haven't. And they say, well, Democrats don't do it, and here, and here. And it's like, yes, but you don't do it anywhere. So the whataboutism thing, as usual, falls flat. So that's the thing that, we should do at some point. And I agree that we really should. But it's not a thing I'm all that concerned about doing now. And I'm not concerned about doing it now because playing fair is good when you're on an even playing field where everybody is playing fair. Republicans never play fair. And I wish I had seen that a decade sooner. More than a decade sooner, really, but a decade sooner would have been ideal. But I didn't. So if you set the age to 55, and you must retire at 55, you're automatically out at age 55. These Republicans who voted for this on the Virginia Supreme Court are gone. You can also change the date of how long you have to rehear the case so that, because these are all set by the legislature, you can change how long it is that a case can be reheard, and you can flush the court by changing the age. Now, somebody has suggested the age should be 65, and if that doesn't get rid of all of them, if it gets rid of enough, then it gets rid of enough, but I think we could change it to 54. Flush them all. And then you can change it to 65 next time, next session. I'm all for, if Republicans are going to play this kind of game, fuck them. We go high when they go... No. When they go low, we beat them because we know how to do it better. Because what happens when they get power? What happens if they just do the same thing when they get into power? They're going to do it anyway. That is my argument, is they're going to do it anyway. Because they're already trying to make the courts, the Congress, the state legislatures, all of it irrelevant, and just say the only power is the unitary executive and the oligarchs who control him. That's fucking scary. We don't want that. I think we have a heckler. That's the thing. Republicans can't say, at least MAGA can't say what Trump would do for him to lose their vote. Because what's happening is a lot of people who are Republicans, and even some of the people who are MAGA, are saying, what Trump has done has lost my vote. I'm staying home. Or I'm voting for Democrats. And some of them are saying, I'm leaving the Republican Party. The ones who are seriously, figuring it out are the ones who are leaving the party, because they may not be becoming, Democrats. I didn't become a Democrat immediately. But they're at least saying, this is so wrong that this party is done. Number one rule around here is don't piss off the moderators. And the mods are easily pissed. I think we do have we do have to, remember that anything we do temporarily needs to be undone. But, this idea that we can unpack the courts because the courts are already packed and repack them the way we want them packed, it's underhanded, sure. But I don't think it's unfair for us to do it. Not at this point. But there's another interesting point about that. We can do it for the Supreme Court. Well, Supreme Court judges are appointed for life. We can do it in such a way that Supreme Court justices who age out of the Supreme Court get moved to district courts. Somebody brought that up online earlier. And I wish I could remember which channel I was watching, because I would love to give the person who came up with that credit. I'd love to cite my source on that one. Just because, the guy's a million times bigger than I am. So whoever it was that said that, and wherever they got the idea from, they're already bigger than me. So the fact that I cannot recall who exactly said it, who exactly, brought it to my attention, is unfortunate, because I would like to say, where that came from. But it is a thing that is possible. We can simply tell these Supreme Court judges to go away and serve on a district court because they've aged out. And it wouldn't even have to be a stupid aged out like we'd have to do in Virginia to flush them all. And we can flush, 4 of Trump's people out of the 6. Okay. I'd be willing to have 2 younger conservative voices on the Supreme Court. You need to have somebody arguing for a conservative perspective. Hopefully, they will stop arguing for the Republican Party, especially this Republican Party, because hopefully when we're done with this Republican Party will not exist. But this is something we could do basically as soon as we flush the Republicans. And that's not something we can easily do right now in 2026, but it's something we can do in 2028. And we could defang and even dethrone Donald Trump in the meantime. What I'm getting a little sick of seeing is White House panicked, says Donald Trump falls asleep. They don't care. For fuck's sake, they do not care. Trump falls asleep? Easy for them. They all hate his guts. They all want him to be as inactive as possible. He's basically like an 8-ball that randomly interjects into, decisions that are asked by the internet. Should we bomb Iran more? Should we, go back to a shooting war? Should we put boots on the ground? Should we be risking our sons and daughters? Husbands, wives? Should we spend $1 billion or $2 billion or $10 billion on his fucking ballroom? Basically, the more he's asleep, the better these assholes think that they can just, jockey for power when he's dead. Because, make no mistake, Donald Trump is going to be dead pretty damn soon just because of his health. Donald Trump's health, he's not going to live very long. We support TriMet! So those of you who aren't local, you might want to know that how you pay your fare on TriMet is with a little card. I left mine at home because I didn't bring the bag that I keep it in. But it is with a card called a Hop Pass. Just thought you might appreciate knowing that. Because, as you know, there is no hope without hop. I have like 10 of those stickers to put on things. I need to start stickering things. So, that was the big thing, was the idea that we can just start fixing our courts. Oh God, when I was a Republican, literally, it was, do you know how much Donald Trump is going to save us over Barack Hussein Obama? Going golfing every weekend? Oh my God. Every single weekend, Barack Hussein Obama is going golfing. He golfs everywhere. He flies everywhere just to play golf. That costs us a fortune. We wouldn't have that if we had Donald Trump. I remember that shit. And now, Donald Trump flies everywhere to golf, to build golf courses, to run golf tournaments where his caddies cheat for him because he's such a fucking baby he can't lose a game of golf. That's absolutely insane. But it's the current state of things. This is where the country is right now. God help us. The future of media is the new media, the legacy media, although ABC is actually pushing back. They're suing over... Because, I mean, the thing is, what they're really going after is The View. Now, they're also going after the late night shows, but there was actually a court decision saying that these things should be and are exempt from the equal time rule. Which, by the way, was another thing that Republicans, when I was a Republican, wanted to get rid of. Quit your fucking jobs, you fascist pieces of shit!
What up, bitch? Real fucking awkward, big guy. Uh-oh. Big guy,
If somebody wants to clip that, please do. This one honked. We support TriMet. It is so hard to zoom on this phone. That's a 35. Oh yeah, we're going over there. Yeah. So my camera was pointed right at the driveway. So right about 35 minutes or so is about when they pulled in, maybe 34. So clippy clippy.
fuck you!
What? Bitches!
Fucking new booty ass motherfucker! The only time you phone is when you have a corn dog in your mouth.
Yeah. I don't know if they
Yeah, there is no physical and mental requirements for any bitches.
No, I literally have been getting, like, on the drop deck, I've been getting, they're like, hey, do you want to go, like, on a deed? They're like, immigrant enforcement? No. What do you do with these? No.
All right.
What's that one? Border patrol officer is another one I've been getting. Yeah. But,
Border patrols have some training, so they have no excuse. They're just
yeah, Discord also does add for ice and shit.
Absolutely fucking
Bullshit. Makes me mad when I use Discord. Yeah, Discord uses it. So does I think Spotify, but there's so many other reasons to use Spotify. I don't use Spotify. I use YouTube.
I gotta walk across the sidewalk art because it has changed. I'm not really set up to do that yet, but I'm over here, so let me get set up real quick, and I will. Let's do a sidewalk art because I'm here. All right. We've done this recently, so... Oh, there is new stuff. Hang on. Alright. So we have... First of all... Man, the white balance is all over the place. Sorry, guys. I hope you guys appreciate where I had to stand to get that. Oh yeah, we have the classy. So then we kind of need to be all sorts of different directions. Sidewalk Painting Girl does not make filming this for you guys real easy because she keeps changing which direction things should be viewed from. So after that we have, these guys have been here for a while. All right. And that is the end of the sidewalk paint. There's a little bit of other stuff here, but nothing that has been turned into a mural yet. There's nobody down at the memorial, so I'm going to come down here and we'll have a look at the memorial. Still here. It's upside down, but it's still here. Sorry guys, had a notification. And I was worried that it was something YouTube related. It was saying I had been logged out. Of what? I don't know. Alright. So. There you guys have it. You cannot pinch zoom out here. That's why I like vertical, but the problem with vertical is you cannot be horizontal. I smell pasta. Because down there, past everybody, over by, past Tesla and everything, is the original old spaghetti factory. So people are out here, they're just not right in front of the building mostly. Safe distance, right? Give me a second to adjust the tripod legs. This is why I normally go handheld for this, but that wasn't really an option this time if I wanted to get over there. I'm feeling better. Sorry guys, that was my fault. I was trying to dismiss a thing from YouTube Studio and it's like, yes, I know, go away. And it said, no, you want to switch to YouTube Studio. No, I don't. When this is all done and over with, when we remove these people, they are going to, I think Pam said this last night. Was it Pam? If it was not Pam, somebody remind me who it was. Pointed out that after World War II, the Nazis buried their gear because they didn't want to be associated with the Nazi Party. They didn't want people to know who they were. I mean, we found, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. And we kept looking for the ones we couldn't find. That will happen again. The Nazis will be tracked down, arrested, brought to court, and they will say, I was following orders. And we're going to say, that's bullshit. The courts are going to say, that's bullshit. And these people are going to pay the price for the crimes they've committed. Because they've committed crimes, serious crimes. I believe it is 18 USC section 241. And I'm sure that one of my mods is going to check me on that. Conspiracy against rights. This was created to make it illegal to discriminate against brown people, basically, in an official capacity, using your government status or law enforcement status, something connected to the government, as cover for your crimes. Conspiracy against rights says that you may be imprisoned for, there's the normal term that you may be imprisoned for. (18 USC 241). Thank you, Chris. If you engage in I'm waiting for that truck to go by. Air braking all the way across the freeway. If you engage in a criminal conspiracy to deprive somebody of their civil rights, you may be imprisoned for blah, blah, blah. But if that criminal conspiracy involves kidnapping, or murder or similar sorts of really fucking serious crimes, if you engage in a criminal conspiracy to deprive people of their rights involving those things, literally every single person involved in that criminal conspiracy may be imprisoned for any term or for life or put to death. That is what that law says. Putting people in a fucking concentration camp is kidnapping. If you arrest somebody and do not charge them with a fucking crime, and you put them in a concentration camp to try and force them to sign a document saying that they will be deported, they will be deprived of their rights, if you do that, if you engage in that crime, you can be put to death. If you shoot Alex Preddy and Renee Good, you can be put to death. And not only that, everyone involved in the same fucking criminal conspiracy can be put to death. That involves the entire fucking Republican Congress, because they are involved in that criminal conspiracy. They have conspired to kill American citizens, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, and others, actually. They have kidnapped legal residents of the United States. They have changed the laws so that those people who had legal residency suddenly, by themselves, did not have it anymore. And because they had the ability to fight it and win, they put them in a fucking concentration camp. And they said, if you want out of here, if you don't want to be tortured, if you don't want to be sexually assaulted, if you don't want to be raped, if you don't want to be fed maggoty food, if you don't want to sleep on frozen ground with no bedding, if you don't want to be treated inhumanely, sign a document saying you have no rights anymore. That is kidnapping. That is extortion. And the people who have died, that is murder. Every single fucking ICE agent can be put to death. Every single government official who has any part of these motherfuckers doing these crimes can be put to death. That is what 18 U.S.C. Section 241 says. Do the Democrats have the fucking spine for it? I don't know. But they should start talking about maybe some of these people need to face capital punishment. And you know what? The firing squad's back on the menu, boys! Thank you, Donald Trump, you motherfucking piece of shit. By the way, people in the executive branch have been involved in this criminal conspiracy. They can be charged. If they are convicted, things can happen.
When they roll out the guillotine, I'll say for the first time in my life, give me some head.
So that is what is possible. Will the Republicans all be lined up at the federal level and tried and convicted and sentenced? I don't know. Democrats could do it if they've got the fucking stones to do it. We'll see. My bet is no. Because the corporate Democrats are like, yeah, I don't know. maybe some of this is stuff I actually wanted to support. I just can't say it out loud. And frankly, most of the progressive Democrats, the people I actually want to support, are like, yeah, I don't support the death penalty for anyone for any reason. And I'm like, shut up, leave it on the table. Because if some of these people are looking at the death penalty, because every single one of them have committed these crimes. A criminal conspiracy means in for a penny, in for a pound. That's what a criminal conspiracy is. If they have all been involved in all of these things, and by virtue of working together on any of it, they're involved in all of it. If they have done that, capital punishment is on the table. Which means the ones who maybe didn't do that, maybe pushed some paper, I don't know, maybe, arrested people by the book, maybe arrested people at places that, maybe it was not great, but maybe it wasn't, they didn't bust into people's houses without a warrant, shit like that. People who maybe have less culpability. I'm not going to say they're innocent, because they're not. Less culpability. If they're facing capital punishment, they're likely to say, I got names for you. I've got records for you. I got information you might want. And if it comes from me, they might say, oh, this guy is just trying to save his own skin. But if you've got 5 or 6 guys who have the exact same information, these guys did these things, and they all have different levels of culpability, and they were interviewed separately, and, if something like that happens, you have a very serious chance of getting the kind of evidence you need to convict the people who need to be convicted. Because the people who did less don't want to risk that a jury might say, off with their heads. They might want to make sure that if somebody's head rolls, possibly quite literally, we're not going to put the guillotine back on the guillotine is not going to be a method of capital punishment in the United States. It's not going to happen. I like the idea, but it's not going to be the guillotine. The people who need to pay the price for these crimes, if the people lower down, the people who did less, are looking at an absolutely terrifying punishment because of the people who did more, they're gonna roll. They're gonna roll so fucking fast. And then we'll get the people, because you think they're keeping proper records? ICE agents can't figure out how to hold their gun properly. You think that the people who were holding their guns like this are actually keeping proper records and writing, proper field agent reports? That was the Germans' mistake. They kept documentation and records. We're not doing that. Bet you they're not doing that. But the thing is, if you're going after them all, the ones who did less will tell you who did more.
I'd keep a whole bunch of records.
I'd keep a whole bunch of records.
If you were one of those assholes?
Yep.
Oh, were you listening to my...
Yep.
I mean, I imagine they probably heard me in Old Spaghetti Factory.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
Because I literally switched to turned on to your stream. The second you were like, and heads are gonna roll. I was like, whoa.
I was
okay,
citing 18 USC section 241, conspiracy against rights. That is enough.
I eventually, caught on, but I was like, wow.
That is enough for every single ICE agent and every single government official who has given them power to be facing potentially capital charges. Because if you rob a bank...
Rico cases. Yep.
Do you have a full basket hilt rapier going on? Cool. I just noticed that.
You're only the second person that actually knew that it was a basket. I had a lot of people ask me about that.
It's a sword, Mia. That's all I know. It's a sword.
I did video games.
Oh.
Not just as a player. I wrote game engines. So.
Oh, nice.
Also, I'm a D&D nerd.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I didn't know anything about D&D until after I already got out of college. Like, seriously.
Once I found out you could fucking open carry a sword in court, I was like, I've got to. That is big. I need to have a sword. Like, I just do. And so it took me maybe 6 years to finally get one.
Have at thee, varlet!
But I'm gone.
Hey! What's up? What's up? It's going.
Somehow I only have 27 likes after that.
Shit, I forgot to like your screen. My bad.
Excuse you.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's up?
Hello.
Hey. It's been
Yep.
I
fucking...
snuck
We're
out
having
here.
a vigil for a trans person that was murdered in Seattle last night. Done. There's
Oh.
a vigil for a trans person that was murdered in Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
somebody
shit,
was-
I missed that story.
Yeah.
Maybe it was on the down low.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still have open rooms, so I'm not supposed to be here, but
They're not going to be like hot dogs.
right. The reason I wasn't here made it. I wanted to.
They didn't do shit, man.
I was told
They were so
Proper
fucking.
prior planning, though. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
Right. Prevents
See, the thing is,
I have literally.
we're gonna have enough dirt on enough people that we don't have to be too generous with the lighter sentence. But the way the criminal justice system works is that people plead to a lesser charge than what they actually did in exchange for something. And oftentimes the death penalty is proffered as your crime is murder in the first degree. You could be looking at the death penalty here. If you'd like us to take the death penalty off the table, the reason why they do that is because A, their case might not be as tight as they would like, or B, much more often, they don't want to force the victim to sit through all the testimony of what these fuckers did. Who would want to sit there and watch testimony about how a loved one was brutally killed, and maybe worse than just killed? Who's going to want to watch that go down day after day, week after week? There's also a financial aspect. Trials are expensive. And if they're going to prosecute somebody, the government pays those costs. Now that's dumb. Avoiding a real trial for something like that is dumb. You also get cases where, people get convicted of bullshit charges that are kind of way out there. And then the sentence is, more realistic. Somebody gets convicted of 21 felonies. I'm thinking about Mike Strickland here, who is not going to be the friend of anybody who remembers who he is out here. But the dude pulled his firearm in a situation that was much more serious than what Shane did. Because what was in his face was not camera. It was 10 people swinging flagpoles as weapons, and testimony freely admitted. They freely admitted they intended to make sure he went down and didn't get back up. They intended to kill him. They admitted that in court. But because this was Portland, he was convicted of 21 felonies. And for his crimes, he got, I don't know, a dozen weekends in jail. Weekends. He was out in between. And several years of probation, and of course he was not allowed to own a firearm, which meant he was not safe coming out to film and do his channel and whatnot. We love our buses! Got a wave out of that one. I saw it. I don't usually see him wave. Now, the idea of using, the death penalty to try and get somebody to take a plea to something much less is ridiculous. Wrong way!
Wrong way!
Oh, garage.
Oh, never mind.
They know. It's still the wrong way, but they don't care. I got a clip about, I've got to clip the section about, what was it? Was it 27 or 37 minutes? Something like that. I'll check both. I want to say it was 27 or 37. Because that was some bullshit. That seriously was some bullshit. Now, the thing is, I have a problem. I don't have a problem with the idea that if 10 people engage in something, that one of them does. Basically, the hypothetical is a bank robbery. If 10 people decide to commit a bank robbery together, and one of them, unbeknownst to the others, brings a gun and shoots a guard, all 10 of them shot that guard. I don't have a problem with that principle of the law.
I can see that.
And that's when you start seeing people, being offered deals to disclose the stuff that is really going to put the others away, especially the one who pulled the trigger. Because the one who pulled the trigger did do something worse. But you charge everybody with the same charge. And that's fair. That really is fair. What I have a problem with is the standard by which we impose the death penalty. In this country, we impose the death penalty on people who we can't prove committed the crime. We cannot prove often that somebody committed a crime that carries capital punishment. And if we aren't 100% damn fucking sure, beyond any doubt, that they did it, you cannot undo the death penalty. We just cannot undo the death penalty. So I normally have a problem with how it is implemented because we can't undo it. That is still a nice car. So if you're going to put somebody to death, you better make damn sure that you know what they did or what they didn't do. And I think that is the problem with the death penalty everywhere that it is implemented, is that we don't have that absolute standard. But it's also why I don't have any problem with imposing the death penalty for violations of 18 U.S.C. Section 241. Because that law is pretty specific that all you have to have done is commit this criminal conspiracy, and that this criminal conspiracy abso-fucking-lutely exists by definition. And there is no question that it exists. Because Donald Trump came right out and said it exists. This is what he wants. This is what he's doing. And he demanded that Congress participate. And they did. So we've got them all on that. We've got proof that they did it because we've got their voting records. We've got, you know, the fact that these people work for ICE, which is an agency that's now doing this. They didn't quit. They didn't report. They didn't do something about it. Also, Customs and Border Patrol. These people have committed these crimes. They're part of the conspiracy. They have chosen to be part of this. So in this case, when you have basically mass involvement in a criminal conspiracy, you have what you need. You actually have So when you have that, I am perfectly fine with putting that out there and letting the people who want that taken off the table start dishing dirt on the people where it is on the table. And if what you give is verified and true, basically meaning if somebody doesn't contradict what you're saying with something that says you're responsible for stuff you said you weren't, if what you said is true and honest, then okay. That comes off the table for you. It isn't even an option for the jury. That seems fair. Now, is that going to... I mean, I wouldn't want to be up in front of a jury who's going to be asked, is it okay to gun people down in the street? Is it okay to target black and brown people? Is it okay to kidnap people from their homes without a warrant? Is it okay? If you were responsible for doing these things, I don't know about you, but if I'm sitting on that jury, they are fucked. Now that's why I'm never going to be on that jury, because I've already said, if you're before me and you were part of what did these things, you're fucked. And you deserve to be fucked. That disqualifies me from the jury. But I don't think I want to, because again, America, the whole damn country minus some 20% of people who really, really have no fucking idea what's going on or have decided they want it. They want what's going on. 20% of the country supports this. 80% doesn't. And if that 20% is disqualified from the jury because they've already made up their mind that anything that Donald Trump wanted is A-okay, and anyone who supported it, that's the thing. If it disqualifies me from the jury because I'm like, convict the motherfuckers, it's going to disqualify them because they're acquit the motherfuckers. So that's where things stand. If Democrats have the stones for it, and I'm not super. Democrats don't have spines. At least not the ones running the party right now. Now we could change that. And if you have a primary ballot that still needs to be voted, I mean, in Oregon, it's all mail-in, so I'm talking like you're in Oregon. You may not be. If you still have a primary coming up, and most people have had their primaries by now, but if you've got one coming up, vote blue no matter who doesn't mean you vote for the corporate bullshit. Vote for the progressives. Vote for the people who are actually going to say, we are going to fix this. Now, I don't trust them to be ready to, push for the death penalty because they largely don't believe in it. But they'll push for life for these people. If you convicted if you've committed these murders or have kidnapped someone, they're gonna push for the appropriate crimes to be met with the appropriate penalties. They're just gonna stop short of, off with their heads. In that case, it's a shame. Because, honestly, we're talking about neo-Nazis here. They need to have the fear of God put in them. The real fear of the real God. Not this nationalist Christian fake bullshit. Topic day has become kind of a little bit of a rant day. Sorry. So ultimately, it's going to take some pretty major shit to fix the damage in this country and remove this Republican Party, which has become a cancer, from power. I think we can do it, though. I think we should do it. And I hope that we've got people who just have the testicular fortitude to actually do it. What's probably going to happen is all of the politicians are going to be given the option to just retire. They're not going to be faced with. They're not going to take all these Republicans in Congress and make them stand trial for these crimes. but they might give them the out of retiring. Am I okay with that? Not really. But I'm realistic about it's likely to happen that way. Because the expedient way to get them out of power is to allow them to just leave office. However, I insist on, if they're allowed to leave office, that they be barred from federal buildings. I've said this before, but maybe some of you haven't heard me say it. They need to be barred from federal buildings. Because if they retire from public office, they're just going to go to work for, the Heritage Foundation or some of these, some of these right-wing think tanks and lobbying groups and trying to corrupt and influence the next generation of people who are not the Democrat Party. Will they be called Republican? Probably, but they might not. They might not. The name Republican might be so repugnant that they abandon it and rename the party. But it will be a party that, the current crop are not part of anymore. Now, the problem is a lot of these younger ones, they're full-on neo-Nazis. Hopefully, the people who are not neo-Nazis will be aware of who they are and not allow them to take power. That is my hope. I'm sorry, guys. I've been wondering why there hasn't been much chat, and I'm like, oh, I'm stuck scrolled back a bit. Often I can't scroll back for the life of me. Sometimes I'm stuck scrolled back. I mean, if somebody's bringing tacos, I'm never going to complain about that. Oh. Yeah, there's protest money out here. I have yet to notice him because he's kind of small, but he has popped onto my stream a time or two. So, I said that I was sure that there was going to be some total bullshit to talk about related to Donald Trump. And instead we were talking about, this fun thing with the criminal conspiracy and dumping the losers on the court who are going to vote for the neo-Nazis every time and replace them with people who are going to vote for the neo-Nazis never. At least not unless it's genuinely not against the law to do what they've done, which is usually not the case because neo-Nazis. So we ended up on those topics instead of anything Donald Trump did. And I was sure he was going to... He did! Abso-fucking-lutely he did. Did you guys see that Trump came out earlier today and he says that letting Iran control the Strait of Hormuz is a genius move? that's like, 83-degree chess or some shit. Because he's a white IQ, a high IQ person. So he comes out and he says that bullshit, and then he's like, and we might go to war with them again. We might resume our hostilities and, continue bombing them and trying to kill them all. And it's like, you didn't have authorization to do it the first time. It was an illegal war consisting of war crimes. An illegal war with war crimes. And you're just going to go, oh yeah, we're going to do it again. But also, letting Iran control the Strait of Hormuz is a genius move. What the fuck? There are people out here. There were a couple of people on the front line. Mostly it's been just one guy, a bike dude has been out there. But just around the corner here, there have been a large group of people. And you have occasionally heard them shouting about all cops being bastards. Which, is a statement I was raised to never believe and to think was very, very, very awful and disrespectful, and I've learned more how police tend to operate and how it's not really a situation that, wrong way. Oh, garage. Garage. They know it's the wrong way. Oh, nope, not wrong way. No, they're turning around. They need to, light up that fucking wrong way sign. They need to light it up so people can see that it is actually a, Because, let's have a look at this sign. There are two of them, but it's up high, all the way the fuck up there. Not down here where it'd make more sense. It's up really high, next to the street signs. There are two of them, but the other one is up just as high above the signs that people would actually read. It's up super high, and they're just steel signs. They're not even reflective signs. They're not lit up, really, because there is no street light over here near that sign. The reason why it's lit up here is because of that. All of those bright-ass motherfucking... That's the only reason why that sign is lit at all. And this sign, there is a street light up here. But again, the sign is so high up that people don't see it. So that's the situation. Now, I could stay out here really late tonight, but I think I've mostly exhausted the topics that aren't just completely exhausting. Because, even just Trump spouting off bullshit and falling asleep and, oh, the White House is panicking. No, they're not. I think I have seen Rattifa. Let's see if I can get a good shot of Antrifa. That looks good. From where I'm sitting, I can't even see that the tree is there. Just with my eyes, but those lights are so bright. But the camera has a much different color range. And I mean, it sees the sky kind of like I see the sky. That one is probably a planet, because it isn't moving. Or it could be like a sliver of the moon. I don't know what phase the moon is currently, but that be a sky object. And it's not moving, so it's a planet or those are, you know, like glare, but no, that is a genuine thing up in the sky. I have only ever once seen stars, guys. Only once, ever. I was up in Victoria. We love our buses! Yeah, the one time, it was back in like the 90s. You didn't need anything special to go to Canada. And there was a girl. So I went up there to visit, and I hope she is well. But she lived in Victoria, so I went up to visit her in Victoria. And at the time, I don't know if it's still the case, I imagine it probably is, just because Victoria is too small to have the light pollution that we have here in Portland. I saw a sky full of stars. It was cool. It's the only time I ever have. The one other time that I could have seen stars was when I was a kid in Southern California, and unfortunately, it was a cloudy day. I could see the moon through the clouds, but I couldn't see the stars. And the reason why I could do that was because there was a massive power outage. Nothing was lit up at all. You know what? It should be like that again. It should be. I hope that one day it will be like that again. Right now, I don't think Canadians want it to be like that. Oh my God, I don't want all those MAGAs coming north to get away from justice. And we really don't want an influx of people trying to get away from MAGA either, because some of them voted for it, and I mean, that probably includes me, because I did vote for Donald Trump twice. We love our buses! Ooh, this one's an OPB ad. There is someone on Pretend Media's Discord, I think it was Lita, posted a link to a documentary that OPB did that kind of puts the whole fighting fascism thing into perspective. And I think I'm going to make a post about it and link to the video because it is on YouTube and it's an OPB video. So I think I'm going to make a post about that later. It was really interesting. I only managed to get through about half of it. Today I've had some major meetings and whatnot. Years ago, all right. First of all, again, was very much a Republican at the time. And this is going back to Katrina. Katrina caused me to, kind of start thinking more seriously about being a prepper. And this was very much a, what sort of rifle do I need to survive the zombie apocalypse? At least at first, initially it was. And there's a guy down in Salem. I met him once. And I think he decided I was too far down the right-wing rabbit hole for him to be associated with me. But he was definitely a right-wing guy. But maybe he decided I was too far out there. But he had a military background, and he had posted some stuff he'd done and some stuff that, a friend of his had done. I don't know how well they knew each other, but it was all about, being prepared for anything and what to pack in your survival gear and full on, doomsday prepper sort of thing. And it was at least realistic because it was like, there's this guy, John Wesley Rawls, who writes fiction about, when it happens. And his stuff is basically, his fiction is basically a prepper supplies catalog masquerading as fiction. The problem is, if you do the shit he says to do, after you buy the shit he tells you to buy, you got a good chance of not coming out the other end of it alive. That's just the nature of that stuff. And he was more realistic. Now, he was still going hard on the whole, military survival training aspect of this stuff. So, still kind of, doomsday prepper. And then I encountered a couple of Mormon women who ran a site called Food Storage Made Easy. And their stuff was basically about, they're Mormons. Mormons take prepping religiously seriously. Now, most Mormons are pretty right-wing and part of the whole Christian nationalism thing, but at least in terms of, their history of not being welcome because they're not the right kind of Christian. And if you understand their theology, you understand why they don't get along with most other kinds of Christianity. But they take the whole prepping thing religiously seriously. And not everyone does. I mean, I've got Mormonism in my family's background, and they did none of that shit. But the ones who are doing it right are paying attention, and, they're storing food and whatnot. And if this all sounds like, crazy, this was in the back of my head And then Katrina happened. So then I actually approach, you know, as a person who is legally blind and not even sure that people are going to take me seriously as being able to be prepared for whatever happens. Hurricane or whatever, but some assumption that the rule of law is going to become optional at best because the government or the authorities or the police or whatever can't get to you for an extended period of time. And people are going to become desperate and predatory. That was the assumption. That is the fundamental assumption of like doomsday prepping. It really is that people are basically going to turn on each other and become animals. And if somebody's going to become an animal and turn on you and try to take what you use to take care of your family, you need to do what you need to do. But these food storage people and another website that unfortunately has been taken down since, called Listening to Katrina, which was somebody who actually survived Katrina, having been at least moderately into the whole prepper mindset. And basically, he was encouraging you to, like, make sure you've got family photos backed up on a portable hard drive. And that this is stored somewhere so that you can just grab it and go. Because a literal argument that he ended up having with his wife as they're trying to get out because of the, Katrina flooding, is he shouts at his wife, "I'm trying to save our lives." And his wife says, "I'm trying to save our memories." So his lesson from all this was, and again, this guy is at least, a right-wing sort of person at the time. I don't know if he is anymore. But his lesson was, have your shit together. And of course, he had his gun, and he didn't need it. Because what happened was, people were more interested in working together than fighting each other for the basics. That was a really positive thing, and that kind of changed how I looked at prepping. And this was, Katrina was the thing that got me moving, and this was the thing coming out of Katrina, along with a couple of other things that were a little more grounded, that got me to thinking about doing it better and doing it, as a cooperative thing. Yeah, basically that. So where I'm going with all of this is there's a FEMA program called CERT, Community Emergency Response Team. And it's basically a citizen, kind of a zeroth responder, because, people with all this wonderful training and work for the fire department and, EMTs and whatnot, those are the first responders. What if first responders can't get to you? Well, that's what CERT was supposed to be about. And in a lot of places, CERT is basically a fucking joke. But Portland actually takes it pretty serious. Now, we don't call it CERT in Portland because we already have a CERT spelled with an S. It's the SWAT team. And if you're talking to one of the dispatchers and you're calling for CERT verbally, you don't want the wrong one to show up, because whichever one you wanted, if the wrong one shows up, you're going to have a bad time. Because CERTs are the ones with, clipboards and hard hats and reflective vests and forms to help people and, some basic first aid training. And, the CERT with an S are the people who are going to show up with, select fire rifles and tactical gear. Like those assholes, except they actually know how to use it. So I got involved with this when I moved to Portland, went through all the training, found that, you know, they're trained to do some basic search and rescue. You would think that the blind guy would be not very good at search and rescue. But you know what? The building that we practiced doing that in, no lights and full of, you know, smoke.
But you're in a level playing field then.
I went in with my cane. I was able to do the search and rescue thing pretty damn well. They did actually let me do things like, you know, put out the fire with the fire extinguisher. You know, all the stuff that, like, other people did, I was able to participate in. CERT is big on filling out forms because if it's not written down, it didn't happen for the government. And I'm like, I can't really do that in the field. In the field, I won't have my computers to do that for me. Somebody else needs to do the reading and writing.
Unless you could like do it verbally. And then
I could maybe, but
later.
the assumption is if you're going to be trapped without power and clean water, you know, maybe being airdropped in or whatever for 3 weeks without any sort of, you know, anything before, and maybe longer than that before first responders can actually properly get to your area, except for the most desperate needs. I'm not going to have electronic devices.
Well, that's why you should have like a battery, like even one of those small battery backups. You know,
I have two. I have two. And I've got a couple of small batteries for ham radio usage.
Okay.
They're lead acid. A big thing I'm working on is lightening this load because I need to add a sun shelter to it. I just had to drop, I just decided I got to drop $110 or something like that for essentially a cross between one of those easy up shelters and a tent. It's not quite a beach tent. It's really intended for things that aren't beaches, but it's got the option of walls on 2 or 3 sides to keep the sun out, and you know, I could set it up right over there and, you know, just carry some sandbags and tie it down. Can't really put stakes in the ground over there, but yeah, I can do that, and I would have something to keep me out of the sun because I've got to do that. That's a lot. And I got to do it, you know, this month, which really sucks. Because I've spent a lot of money this month. But hopefully, some of my viewers will help defray some of those costs a little bit. At least a little. But that's why I didn't get out here until 8 tonight, is because I was at a meeting for the downtown net, which, you know, kind of died after COVID, and the downtown Portland area is a big deal. And I mean, some of what kind of encouraged me to get involved in Portland Net again, because I was inactive, was they will provide me with better first aid training. If I can find ham radio classes to increase my license, they will pay for those. Yeah, basically they will pay for me to be a better protester, honestly.
You have a ham license?
I do. Helicopter. Probably a lifeline based on where it was coming from and where it's going to. Yeah, it's just a technician license.
Still, that's
I have a license and I know how to use it.
yes, it is air flight.
Nice. But being involved in Portland Net helps make Portland a better city. And the fact that they're willing to train me to be a better, basically, protest medic. I don't really call myself a medic. I don't tape up or anything out here because my primary role is I'm a videographer for the most part. You know, I come out here and I talk to you guys about topics when there's not a lot going on out here, and we had Ethan almost get run over again tonight.
Oh yeah.
I've got video. I will clip that shit.
Did you hear about Tommy getting the shit beat out last night or Sunday night? Yes. Last
I
night.
did not.
I was there. It was great.
I assume he was fairly offensive and managed to annoy somebody.
Yeah, and he got like a real good running start on that punch. He went bam. Fucking Tommy stumbled around. He's like, "What the fuck?" Got turned around. He's like, "Fuck." Motherfucker. It's great.
I officially, because I'm on YouTube and all these things, I officially do not condone violence.
Of course not. Of course not. I do.
I will not condone violence, and I will say that I actually believe that at this point, any sort of violent uprisings or anything are completely not only they're not necessary, they're not a good idea, and they would actually hurt us. So, but because of the nature of all these social media platforms, you can consider me vocally not condoning violence to be a canary. If you don't know what that means, look it up. Because if I ever stop saying it, well...
Yeah.
That said, if somebody is genuinely a violent and offensive prick, both violent and offensive, I'm not going to shed many tears if somebody hauls off and decks someone, because, you know, people are only willing to put up with so much.
And then the poor baby, you know, when he had to have called the cops because, like, right after he left, cops came in like 4 or 5 deep. And they didn't even stop though. Like they just literally just ran, slowly rolled by with their fucking lights on.
Oh, so what they did when Shane pulled a gun?
Yeah, basically. Well, like that wasn't done here though. That was over by the.
The Cash Patel thing, because Tommy can't come down here.
Yep.
I'm shocked that the judge has allowed Tommy to, you know, go to be a counter-protester, given that he has continued to be a violent prick everywhere he's gone. It's not just here.
I mean, there hasn't been reports, you know, or like police reports, you know, between.
Hey, K-girl.
Like with him at other places.
But, you know, if this eventually becomes not really a thing and there are other protests, I may start going to those instead. But this is something that's convenient for me because I live down here. I live so close to this, guys. It really is just a walk. In this case, different sort of canary. Think coal mine. I can't say that I can't condone violence, but I can make a point of not condoning violence, and if I ever stop doing that, consider it a canary. Yeah. Idea of the canary being the no, a different sort of canary. The other canary. Because if I ever stopped saying that it shouldn't happen, it's because I no longer believe it shouldn't happen. Can't say otherwise, but right now it isn't necessary and isn't a good idea, and we shouldn't go there. I hope we never get to the point where it is necessary, because that is, 1776 shit. And the problem with 1776 shit is if we go there, revolutions happen fairly often. They almost always end in dictatorships. I don't really want a left-wing dictator any more than I want a right-wing dictator, because, this is my libertarian roots talking here. Again, I was a Republican. Left boot, right boot, if it's on your throat, doesn't matter which one it is. So I don't want to see, a fucking King Newsom any more than I want to see a King Trump.
Did you hear that Hungary got a brand new, basically a brand new government?
Hungary did something really fucking awesome. If you guys don't know about this, I'm sure most of you guys watching now do, but Hungary decided that Viktor Orban, who was their dictator for 16 years, they could not... Basically, I think Orban wanted to retire, but realistically, Orban was seeing the writing on the wall with Russia. Russia's going down. It's only a matter of time. Orban wanted out. So he kind of didn't really fake the election the way that he normally would. I'm sure that's how that happened, because...
Well, from what I heard, there was so many votes that he couldn't fake it.
Yeah, but Trump's willing to do that, to have the election just be... Any election that doesn't support him and his people is a hoax, fraud.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't matter how many people vote for it. Except, no, that's bullshit. But, the whole thing is you don't care when you're the dictator.
Yep.
But Orban allowed it because he and his people were trying to flee the country and take all the monies with them. Well, technically, Orban was part of a political party. Technically. And Hungary's new government, whose head used to be part of Orban's party, by the way, said that Orban's political party was not a viable part of a democratic political system because they deliberately set out to overthrow it, and succeeded, really. And because they tried to overthrow the democratic political system, they had no right to be part of it. The party has been abolished. The effectively state media, they're losing their licenses to broadcast. They've gone full scorched earth on these people. They're taking out Orban's party just completely. Good.
They did the right way.
Good. So you have somebody who is basically would be the equivalent of a Republican in Hungary saying,
MAGA Republican.
well, former MAGA Republican.
Well, okay, no, I thought you were going somewhere else with that. Yeah,
No, the current president of Hungary
Okay, yeah.
is basically a former MAGA Republican,
Yeah.
still a Republican, and he's decided we're going to have multiple political parties, we're going to have fair elections, we're going to have independent press, we're going to have laws that apply equally. It is possible to be right-wing and not
And still have values.
and still support. So I hope that we do actually destroy and that's why if you missed it earlier, I was talking about Virginia's considering age limits for their Supreme Court justices as low as 54.
Good.
Which means all of these Republicans who just voted to throw out the redistricting in Virginia, bye-bye. And if they do this in time for the case to be reheard, because they can do that within 30 days, but they can also rewrite the statute that says it has to be done within 30 days and make it within 1 year or whatever they need to. If they term limit these judges and basically kick them off the court, which they can do, they can basically push through the redistricting and fight fire with fire. I support this. If you go, essentially, if you set an age limit of 54, 54 really is too young, but fighting fire with fire, change it back to 65 next year. Well, change it to 65. 65 would be a reasonable limit. And then the Republicans are going to be, they set the age limit so low just to flush the Republicans off the court. Yep.
So?
Because, and then you've got, the corporate Dems. Oh my God, if we do that, that's just going to give the Republicans the power to do the same thing. They're going to do that anyway.
Yep, exactly.
I said that earlier. So, recap of the original topic rant. They will do it anyway because they're willing to do everything else. Their goal is to create what they call the unitary executive, which is literally the fascist dictator. One person makes the decision with all of them. Okay, they're turning around.
I've been saying for months now, like all these things that like people are saying, oh, they wouldn't do that, they wouldn't do that. No, they will.
They will, and they have.
Will do it. Yeah, and most of the time they have done it.
So, that's where we stand. My hope is that we can do something about it. And I mean, I'm really hoping that yes, Democrats learn to fight fire with fire. You've got Hakeem Jeffries is getting all in on that Supreme Court thing because it affects him personally. Corporate Dems can move their ass when their ass is on the line. Funny how that works.
I don't really trust any of them.
I don't either, but my argument is any Democrat, the whole vote blue no matter who, it's funny that always seems to apply to the corporate Democrats, but never to the progressive ones.
Right?
But that's why primaries matter. If you are not really a Democrat, but you're still on the left, you should be registered as one, because unfortunately people are stupid, and you're not going to have people actually make other parties matter just because you want them to. Right now we're stuck with a two-party system for the time being. People are beginning to get a political education, which might allow for more than two. But that's early days. If we want to actually impact our elections and we want to stop this cycle, especially cycle of like stupid forever wars in the Middle East, we've got to actually get people in power who are not going to push for the fucking Israeli agenda. And that means voting for Democrats who are not going to vote for the fucking Israeli agenda. That means registering as a Democrat and voting in the primaries. And it's kind of too late for most... it's too late to register as a Democrat if you're not one now. For just about anywhere, because Oregon's primary is happening now. And Oregon's primary is so fucking late it almost doesn't count.
I can't register anyways.
You can't register?
I don't have a passport.
You don't need a passport to register.
Or a true ID, which I don't have one of those either.
You can register online with just the last four of the social. You can't. That's interesting.
Because really all I needed to do was go down to the elections office and sign a new card. But because my signature was invalid last election, even though it's the same one I've had for 6 years, but fucking whatever.
So now you have to do more to prove you're you.
Yeah, but like I've got an ID, but that's not enough. It has to be a true ID, or it has to have or a passport.
And of course, they closed all the passport offices.
Not just that. I can't get one anyways. I'm trying. My birth certificate doesn't match my ID. The gender marker.
Oh, fucking bullshit. Doesn't Oregon have laws saying that, real ID, you'd have to get a real ID that had...
And for a real ID, I'd have to have
dead named and everything.
Yep. Yeah,
We need to do something about that bullshit in Oregon.
It also means I can't leave the country.
I mean, you can leave the country. You just have to, basically sneak in somewhere, which means they'll know you've come, and you'll have to go somewhere that will, recognize you having left the country as you are a refugee fleeing persecution, which damn near counts at this point, but doesn't quite. It's got to get a little worse for you before it would count.
Being trans, yeah, it's real close.
We're almost there.
There it is.
Looking for a bright-ass flashlight?
That's my equipment. It was dead earlier, so
Ah.
I took it off to charge it. And then when I grabbed it off the charger, I just threw it in my bag instead of putting it back where it was supposed to go.
I need to find man or Chad, somebody, one of the people who are actually seriously medical trained to audit my efforts here, which are back here.
I mean, I can go through it.
Sure.
It also depends on what level you're planning on.
I mean, there's
Because planning for being down here is completely different than planning on.
well, the first thing that's in the top there is and there's at least one hemostatic gauze in here. There's at least some things, but there's also there's also some assumptions that did I put that in? No, it's on the other side. Okay. There is at least some assumptions that what is missing from this kit still is I know I need some chest suits. At least one or two of them.
Well, also you gotta remember, if you're planning on being down here,
Yeah.
you're not going to be the only one for.
I'm not. But I want to have what I need if I am one of the only ones out here.
Oh yeah,
A night like tonight. Or when there's even fewer.
I don't even bring my medical.
This pocket is the one I expected is the one to get the most use out here, honestly. It's got the it's just got some Pseudopon, it's got some cleaning wipes and a few supplies in case any of the biologically female people out here need some stuff.
Yeah. that's gonna work. So,
There are reasons why I understand the need. So I happen to have some of the supplies, and I mean, I realize that like the whole tampon to use in a bullet hole is kind of bullshit.
yeah.
I understand that. You're better off with a chest seal and an Israeli bandage and a tourniquet for dealing with that stuff. Hemostatic gauze. You're better off with that and get people to somebody with more medical skills and more medical supplies. Patch them up and get them moving. That's the right way to handle that. But those are still in there just in case somebody needs them for their intended purpose.
I would say wet wipes.
There are a couple here.
Are they?
There's some dude wipes in here. There
They-
are some.
Unscented.
The individual dude wipes have like a mint scent, but it goes away quickly. I wish I had some unscented ones because I know
I've got like I've got like 67 bags.
I've got some wet ones. These are fresh scent.
I've got like 67 of those bricks of unscented unfragrance.
I mean, realistically,
wipes.
if it comes down to it, I do have a pack of these. Are they scented? They are probably scented. But I didn't try to fit that into this bag. This bag is pretty full. No, what I think I need to do is I need to have the taco truck have some sort of
Actually, these would work.
okay.
Those would work. Because they're fragrance free.
That was the thing I didn't know if they were fragrance free.
Yeah. It says that they are.
Cool.
And,
But
and they were. It also says that they're made with plant-based materials.
that helps.
Yeah.
That helps. I mean, what it's saying is they're made of paper.
Well, I mean, yeah, and aloe. And
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. So basic stuff, and there is no added scent other than the
Yeah.
ingredients. The plant, the only scents that are in there are the scents of the plants that were used to make them.
Yeah. But like the reason why you want like no fragrance or anything is because it's gonna be in your eyes, and that burns so bad.
Well, I got Sudicon for that. But there's also some. There's also 4 or 5 wash bottles. I still need to get those caps.
Oh yeah. I can't do it tomorrow because tomorrow I've got.
I'll be out here Friday.
Oh yeah. I'll bring Friday.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Now I only have a couple. I have like 4. I think.
I really only need one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just one to go into the kit with the wash bottles. But I'm thinking for the wagon, I need to either just buy some aluminum lawn chairs, because I mean, frankly, these are heavy and they take up a lot of space. But it's convenient to pack 2 of them. But for packing 2 of them, they're heavy, as I said. They take up a ton of space in the wagon, and they make it hard to have other things.
Yeah.
I think I need something that's got some. I'm thinking what I should consider is, the Operation Inflation guys have their, costume rack, and there's a couple of hanging shoe organizers, basically.
Yeah.
And one of them would fit something like this, so it's just ready to go, just grab it, pull it out. It's about that size. So, replace this with a proper frame that you can actually so that I can actually use the space more completely. I'm also going to be having that pop-up sun shelter is going to have to fit into this.
Also, for the chairs, have you thought about putting them up right here and then putting a
if I had a proper frame, yeah, that would make a lot of sense. I have actually considered putting them on top.
I mean, because that would get them out of the way.
It would. It would feel a lot of space. I had considered. Would you guys like to see what the hell I'm talking about over here? I'm pointing you at the driveway in case shit happens, but doing a lot of talking about the taco truck here, which has one chair still sitting in it. It's got that table. I'm thinking about replacing that table with a smaller one. Now, I cannot afford to do any of this shit this month. This month, it's like, because I have to buy this sun shelter, food's gonna get a little tight. So, yeah, that's gonna be fun. But I'm thinking about replacing this big ass. Well, first of all, I don't know if I've ever shown you guys the taco truck, really. This little shelter just goes over these little tent pole sort of things that are kind of floppy. I could probably crimp this to make it a little more solid, at least as solid as it is on the other side, which is not very. I mean, hey, I just pulled it out. It was glued in place and crimped. Well, it's not glued or crimped anymore. So that's showing how that's going to work. But basically, I want to put it in a frame. I would honestly love, it would be so cool to replace this floppy ass thing that I just, fit over the poles and then Velcro down. I want a proper frame inside here, and I would like to make sort of a roof that fits over it out of coroplast, that political sign material, and actually label it the taco truck. That would be awesome. And in fact, I would totally fucking do it in classic 80s and 90s Taco Bell colors. That would be awesome. I think I probably could get some help decorating it because it would be fun.
I mean, if you give me the dimensions on it, I could build you the frame.
I've got a PVC pipe cutter. I was considering basically just getting some PVC pipe. It doesn't need to be half inch would probably do fine.
Yeah.
And I had actually considered that what I might want to do is I have this Velcro tie that I use when I fold up the tripod to stick it in the corner here, so it sits standing up inside the thing. I hope I'm in frame. I should actually turn around and use the other camera so I can see. But that would be responsible. But I have this little Velcro, tie that I use. It's just intended for hanging hoses and whatnot in a garage. But if I had a PVC frame, I could drill a couple of holes in it and get some bigger pipe, just a piece of sewer pipe, not a very long piece.
1.5 inch or 2 inch?
5 inch.
Okay.
Basically, to create sort of a little holster to slot
You just slide it inside of it. Yeah.
and I might still end up using the Velcro tie up higher.
Well, yeah. Just keep it, So,
But it would be something that would it would stay put. It wouldn't slip. It wouldn't fall. The whole idea is if I Tetris this shit better and make it lighter, I gotta make it lighter because I gotta fit more in here. about to add 12 pounds for this pop-up tent thing, plus the sandbags, and it's already just, it's a workout pulling this thing all the way.
Well,
Fortunately, it's not uphill very much. But
no.
pulling it up the ramps is like, come on! Plus, I'm going to start carrying, 8 to 10 bottles of water in this cooler.
Yeah,
It's going to get heavy quick.
pretty fast, yeah.
Plus, I'm already carrying underneath the. Yeah, this is why I want to have organization here. This is what I'm already carrying just for wash bottles. And that's not too bad, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wash bottles. I suppose I could get up to a 6th one. I could add another, baby shampoo. Most of them are saline. There's one that's just tap water. And the one that's tap water, I redo it more often because it is tap water. I mean, tap water is probably good for 3 months. I've flushed it out twice.
I don't drink the tap water.
I can't drink the tap water. Cryptosporidium. I have chemotherapy. There is more cryptosporidium than is really safe for sensitive populations.
Really?
I am a sensitive population.
I didn't know that about
It is a small microorganism that it's sort of like listeria. It's a thing that people worry about in like hospitals. But listeria isn't going to hurt most people. The problem is the sort of people you're likely to find in hospital: people who are pregnant, people who have complicated people who are already sick with something else. Listeria is very deadly to those people. So it's a problem. Cryptosporidium would make me very sick. So I don't drink the tap water. I always get bottled water, or I drink something else. I mean, you can filter cryptosporidium, but I don't have a filter system that's suitable for doing it.
I grew up somewhere that had a whole bunch of arsenic in their water, so I don't like drinking water. Like our water was yellow.
Where I used to live in Monmouth, there were 3 water sources, and all of them were combined into one water source. And it turns out, the way it worked, they had different problems. One of them was arsenic. When you combine the 3 water sources, the levels of dangerous things were low enough because none of the individual things was high enough concentration when you mixed all 3 water sources together to be dangerous, but all 3 of them were dangerous on their own. That's that I got a background in freaking chemistry, and that it's one of those things, I understand it. It's like the probability thing of, you open, you get a chance to open one door, and it's, or pick one door, and then it's like, we're going to open, you pick door number 2, we'll open door number 3, and that's not it. And you're better off changing your vote to, or changing your door to door number 1. I understand that that's how that works. I understand the math of how that works. I don't actually understand how that works. Like, I don't know anybody who does.
I used to be able to explain it, but I mean, that was over 20 years ago.
So anyway, guys, that's planned upgrades to the taco truck, basically to make it so I can get out here a little more easily. and fit more stuff in and be more useful. Well, you were up real late then.
You know, I think that's actually the same size as mine.
If you have well water, you're used to dealing with random shit that makes some people sick. I used to be able to drink that, but you know, since then I developed cancer and I take chemotherapy. That fucks with everything. Yeah, I've got people who stay on my stream sometimes until like, you know, 11 or 12 if I'm out here that late, and they're all on the East Coast. And I'm like, I so love my mods. You guys are awesome. But yeah, I would like to replace, you know, these chairs with like just lawn chairs. As long as I can get in and out of them, and having like firm armrests will help with that. The folding camping chairs don't have that.
Yeah.
Either, you know, the thing has to not sag under me as I sit down, which camping chairs all do, they're designed to. Or if it's gonna sag a little bit, like lawn chairs will, I gotta have, you know, armrest to pull myself up.
Are you talking about like the 1980s types of
Yeah,
lawn
yeah.
chairs? Okay, yeah.
They're still made. They're still, you know, people still buy them. They're just not very cheap on Amazon.
Oh, I bet.
Like a pair of them is like $50.
Wow.
And it's like somewhere you gotta be able to get these things cheaper than that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. Big Lots maybe.
Yeah, probably. But the issue there is I don't have a car.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got I've got at least one Canadian in here. So Tired is Canadian. But anyway, guys, you have some idea of if you are contributing to my fund, and if you look at my Amazon wish list, basically, you can kind of see that a lot of this stuff is like make it smaller, make it lighter, and you know, I mean, the other major thing is not the highest priority, because the highest priority is that sunshade. But you know, the other major thing is a phone with a bigger screen. And I mean, I put a Pixel on there because the Pixel is the one that I can run either Calyx or Graphene. At the moment, it's kind of got to be Graphene because
You don't get a Verizon.
as long as you don't get a Verizon, yeah.
You don't get a Verizon.
Well, that was why on Amazon it was a Pixel 10, so you can still get a proper non-Verizon Pixel 10 on Amazon.
Also, like just to let you know, I have a Pixel 7a, and if you're gonna be putting like Linux on it or something, you gotta make sure it goes back far enough so they actually make a distro for it. Because I can't even find one for the 7a.
I've been used the two I've used are still Android based. I've used Graphene and I've used Calyx. And Calyx has been like suspended for 8 or 9 months now because they're like rebuilding their whole signing process. I realize that on a pretty fucking high-end computer, more than mine by quite a bit, it takes 2 days to compile Android at this point. It's ridiculous. And the setup for it is obnoxious. So I'm not surprised that it's taken them 9 months. They thought it would take 6. They're getting closer. But Calyx has the advantage of micro G. It also has the disadvantage of micro G because in order for micro G to do its thing, you have to be able to spoof signatures, which is a security flaw. Which is why the graphene people are like, no, it will never be. The only way you will have Google services is if you install Google services. I don't want to install Google services. So that's why I prefer Calyx over graphene. But right now, if you're running Calyx, your phone has probably got some security flaws because they haven't updated it in 9 months. So it would probably be graphene. And, you know, you're going to be able to buy an actual Motorola phone with graphene on it. That'll be nice. The one concern I have with the Motorola phone having graphene on it is that it's going to be a fairly budget phone, I suspect. It's not going to be one with a, you know, nearly 7-inch screen. Basically, what I really need is a phone with a 7-inch screen that is running a, you know, free, a Google free operating system on it. That's the goal. As close to 7 inches as I can get. I need a mini tablet for a phone. Buntifa, come back, you are cute. There's a bunny that's been spotted out here several times. Oh, apparently the bunny was out here when I wasn't looking, because there was a bunny sighting. That's pretty much what they were all saying. I'm going to see if I can actually... I can. Alright, I've actually saved a screenshot of what I see on my phone for the YouTube chat. For those of you who haven't seen it, I'll make a post about it so you can actually see what it's like. It covers half the screen in horizontal. And the font is not as big as it could be. By a lot. And I would actually like it to be bigger. And then like the pinned messages up at the top of the screen. And I don't have the option you guys have of being able to go away. I have the option of remove, but I suspect if I remove it, it unpins the message. So it's stuck on my screen. There's basically a lot of shit I would love to be set up with. The thing is, I had one of those. Wrong way. I have the little mini router, and I tried to flash one of them, and I had the right thing, but it kept saying it wasn't the right thing, and I managed to get it to flash, and it was not the right thing. So I matched the model name, like with the right suffix and everything, and it was apparently no, because I don't necessarily trust well, literally any Chinese company, even if they've just modified open source software. I don't necessarily trust what they've done to it, so I would love to flash it with standard. And now I'm being like massively nerdy, guys. Sorry. But I need to get that SIM card going. I have a dedicated hotspot, and the provider that actually works out here well enough to actually use it is T-Mobile. And either I need to hack the hotspot to look like a phone, that's doable, especially if I have a dead phone that I can use for the purpose. And then I need to use the pocket router to basically pretend to... Basically to fix the TTL, since I don't think I can actually hack the router to do it. So the router uses a phone's IMEI. It looks like a phone. And all of the traffic has the right TTL, so it looks like it's not tethered traffic. Then I can use a phone or tablet SIM and plan. I'm not going to expect them to honk at this hour. It's after 10. Yep. This will be the last combination of 35 and 40 we've got. From here, it's all 35. The 40 is done, I think. Every time a bus goes by, I wave at the bus, and people in my chat are posting, honk! We want the bus drivers to honk. They're not going to do that after 10. And most of them won't do it at all because they can get into trouble for doing it. Several wave. I actually saw one wave tonight. But some of them do actually honk. But anyway, guys, it's getting late. I mean, at this point, I'm basically waiting for shift change. If I didn't miss it while I was talking about my fucking wagon.
No, it hasn't gone. Oh wait, they haven't come out yet?
They might not have. They've been doing it real late. Because I figure if they do it late enough, people have gone away.
Yeah, no one will be here.
I want to be here for that. But then I need to start basically disposing of stuff in my apartment to make space. And, we have to buy a new heat pump.
Oh yeah, that's something.
Technically, you know, whether or not we own it or we are renting is sort of a nebulous thing. But Katie's parents are replacing the heat pump. But I had this all loaded up and taking up a fair amount of space in the living room area of my apartment. I mean, I live in a studio. And my fiance's mom is like, the place is unlivable because you've got this thing blocking Katie's ability to get to her desk. And it's like, okay, where do you want me to put this thing? It does get unloaded and folded up, but at the same time, that's kind of part of what I need to do is fold it and load it up. Otherwise, you know, essentially the in-laws are not going to be happy. And if I have to unload it and fold it up, I need to make it so I can easily unload it and fold it up. That means, you know, building something that can be dismantled and take everything taken out and stored in closets. And I've got a place where the wagon folded up can go. So domestic tranquility is going to require that I, upgrade what's in here. I can give away the bigger table. I can give away the, heavier chairs. I've got 2 closets to put things in, and there's a couple of nooks and crannies, but it's all going to be needing to be done, or else this is apparently conditional for the priority will be the end of July or into August before it gets here. Otherwise, it can be 5 or 6 weeks, or 12 to 15. And it's like, that's the difference in price. So
I mean, sometimes you just gotta go through it.
yeah. But it means getting rid of a lot of stuff, which is fine. I can get rid of a lot of stuff. And it means, I also this summer have to make. We've been renting a storage unit, and that's $200 that we've been paying for it. But in October, that's going away completely. Now I could move to this storage unit down here. Obviously, I am capable of transporting things down here. It would be the same amount of money, just a lot less convenient, and possibly a smaller space. That's fine, but I need to actually be able to go through all that stuff and get rid of. Basically, I have a bunch of old junk. Some of it is old computer junk, but I basically need to decide what do I want to keep, what do I want to get rid of, and organize it and everything. That's what I'm going to be doing on my days off when I'm not out here streaming. Oh, hi Brandy, I didn't notice you were here. Glad that you are. I am actually up to 41 likes on this video. That's not bad for a Monday night. I have actually considered setting up a trail cam out here to catch the comings and goings of the ice building. I don't think it would be.
There's a camera right up there that I paid for.
Oh.
That works off of cellular. That I just don't pay the cellular part. So I mean,
But there is a camera that is watching.
oh no, it was just like it's also solar. Because I didn't want to use her power. So it's solar, but she doesn't put it in the sun.
Oh. Well then.
So it doesn't work. It hasn't worked in months.
Then have it fixed so that it plugs in. Because it won't use that much power.
Well, I mean, no, it's hers now. It's whatever. I'm not paying the bill for it, so I mean, it doesn't even work. I'm sure because it can't connect unless she's paying for it.
And likely not.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't cheap.
Well, I have seen her out here a few times.
So have I.
But probably the camera was not a priority.
I mean, I got that back. It's been about a year now.
Well, I would like to put something on that fence right over there if I could. Pointed right at the driveway.
it wouldn't last very long.
It wouldn't. That's why I haven't actually considered really seriously doing it. Because
Now-
the chuds would destroy it, or an ice agent would come over and destroy it.
Now, if you could talk to the person that owns that shop right there, and get see about like possibly putting a camera on the top of his building, I mean that would probably withstand ice, but
And the chuds, they wouldn't
Yeah,
mess with it.
oh yeah, they wouldn't fuck with it. Especially because if you put it up and like no one's down here, they're not gonna notice it.
Well, that was a thing I was talking about ham radio stuff earlier. I have, a magnet mount dual band antenna, VHF, UHF, so 2 meters, 70 centimeters. It'll do the job. The main issue is that I got a place to put it on the balcony. Unfortunately, it's north facing. Steel building, so it's got to be outside on the balcony.
Yeah.
Because VHF and UHF don't cooperate with steel buildings very well. But it's a north-facing. It still will reach the coin tower repeater, despite the fact that there is the building next to mine in the way. But it turns out the signal kind of bounces back and forth a couple of times and reaches the repeater fine on the coin tower, despite the fact that it shouldn't, but it does. But the thing is, I have to actually have this thing outside on the balcony where there is no window that opens. The door opens, and the door is going to be open for, the next month because holy shit.
Yeah.
But normally we want to keep that door closed.
Well, also, like I don't know about like where you're living, but I'm not allowed to have antennas on mine.
Well, see, the thing is, I'm not allowed either, but I'm allowed to have a patio table. And if I stick the patio table out there, which has this nice steel mesh top to it, if I plunk the magnet mount right in the middle of it, up several floors, nobody will ever see it or know or care.
Yeah.
What I would like to do is, obviously the heat pump has duct that eventually is going to exit the building, because that's how a heat pump works.
Yeah.
At some point it's got to, push the hot air out in the summer or the cold air in the winter.
Well, it goes up to the roof.
It possibly does. It possibly does. But if I could arrange with somebody to run some coax through that, wherever it goes, and if it goes all the way up to the roof, I would need to get basically building people to cooperate. Nobody would ever see an antenna up there. Building is a high rise. Nobody's going to see an antenna on top of the building.
But I mean,
Or if it comes out the side somewhere, like our dryer vent. Ooh, that's another possibility. Dryer vent. That vent's outside.
yeah.
If I can get somebody up several floors higher to attach, some guy line for basically a long wire,
Yeah.
and just get a fairly cheap, and you could literally make this yourself,
Just speaker wire.
matching, and use some black, just a single strand of black wire. Nobody will ever see it, ever. Even if it's on the side of the building and just has, a couple little spacers attached to it, just to make sure that it doesn't touch the building. even if it's a steel building, it'll get signal.
Yeah.
It'll radiate out. It'll work really well on HF with enough I mean, you can radio nerd stuff. You can match a soda can. It's not going to be a very good, transmitter, but
Alarms. Danger, Wilbur. Danger.
oh, that really is actually.
Oh.
That's a low glucose alarm.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
The solution to that is
I have fruit snacks.
so do I. That's what I'm reaching for. That low glucose alarm has a simple fix.
It's a fix I don't mind. I actually like it.
No, I'm gonna go home and eat a burrito. But some of this is me, trying to be a better protester and a protest videographer, but some of it is me planning for shutdowns of infrastructure. Right now, I'm posting videos to the internet. If Trump really thinks he's going to lose because of what people are saying on the internet, I actually believe Trump will just shut down the internet in the United States.
I think he might try, but I don't think he'll be able to. Besides, even if he does, let's test it.
I didn't bring my note. It's sitting in my bag. I took it with me to the net meeting, but
I've got two in my bag right now.
I only own one so far. It's a Heltec V4. It occasionally needs the app and the device to be rebooted, and my Bluetooth to be toggled off and on. Because it occasionally will just stop talking to me. And the combination of closing the app, toggling Bluetooth off and on, and rebooting the node makes it talk to me again. Now, Meshtastic is really only regional communication, but it could be national. It just isn't.
Yeah,
currently.
this is not.
Unless you're into ham radio and you're transmitting on
I was
HF.
gonna say, unless like well actually just for that matter, just use reticulum. The reticulum with reticulum, you could use Meshtastic, you could use HTTP. I mean,
That's true.
you could use HF. I mean, you use whatever you want.
But that's me planning for, to treat more serious medical stuff. Planning to go to do more stuff with ham radio. Because I am licensed. I have been since 2011. Basically doxing myself here.
Yeah, but anyone that really wanted to find out could.
Yeah, but my name is Joseph Carter. Good luck. Although when you start looking for Joseph Carters who are technician class hams
Through the
in
FCC,
Portland,
through the FCC, I mean, yeah, it's not. It wouldn't be that hard to find out where you're.
especially when you're looking for a South Waterfront address in Portland. Yeah.
But I mean, that's just part of like of having a license. I mean, it's like my like for example, my GMRS license, my call sign is out there. So, I mean, that's what it is.
I've already treated it. My phone is saying your blood sugar is still low. Yeah, I've already done something about it. Give it 15 minutes.
I was gonna say it just hasn't caught up yet.
Yep. See, once you eat something, it takes about 15 minutes for it to actually have an effect on your blood sugar. And the app's reading of my current blood sugar level is 10 minutes behind what it actually is. So, I use an implant, so I have Bluetooth.
Nice. When I got my boobs, when I got my breast implants, I really wanted them to put like Bluetooth speakers in there. But I asked, and then he's like, "No, I can't do." I was like, "Please." He's like, "No." I was like, "I will buy the speakers for you. Like, I will buy everything that just like
But
just make the nipples the plugs. Just come on, like the charging ports. Come on."
That'd be hilarious.
I was totally.
I don't know
down
how
with
you
it.
would do it so that it works, for in the body. But that would be hilarious. That, or you could actually go for like flashlights, so you have actual headlights going on.
There we go.
That would be funny. The shit you hear when you're coming out here to almost 11 p.m. on my screen. We've already gone through all the politics shit, and now we're just off in whatever.
It's like people out at the bar, when the bar's about ready to close. It's like just talking about random shit. Just we're not drinking.
Nope. I usually volunteer to be the designated driver. If you're drunk enough to give me your keys, you're too drunk to drive home.
Shit. Oh man, that's priceless, dude. Like I like that. Oh man.
I still want to do the thing sometime where I go to a parking garage, and I have had a friend park their car in the garage, and I wait for some passerby standing there with a white cane and ask them to help me find my car, and then get into the driver's seat of the car and then ask them for directions to the exit. That would be so funny. And just see if they react. Although, I used to actually say, I probably could actually drive a car as a legally blind person in New York City.
Driverless cars?
No, sonar.
Oh.
Asshole!
Oh yeah.
Listen for the echo response.
Yeah.
I say this to my friend, my friend Tommy, who is from Long Island. So my friend Tommy from Long Island, I tell him this, and he's like, "Yeah." Just yeah? Yeah. That's not funny? No, it's fucking true.
Yeah, I believe it.
Chris says he would watch the whole thing with the asking people to help me find my car and then giving me directions. He'd watch.
I've been to New York City twice, no, 3 times. I was driving a semi all 3 times.
I've never been to New York City. Never been. I'm up to 74. Still haven't caught up yet, but
Is it going up at least?
it was holding. It was 74, then 73. I have the alarm set at below 75 because if I start to get much below that, I start to get a little lightheaded.
Yeah.
And maybe if I'm by myself, I want to know that that's happening before it happens.
No, it makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, supposedly anything from, 60 to 99 is normal, but if I get below 70, I start being lightheaded, and that's too low.
I hit like 43 and I start getting. Ooh, look at that. Hi, rat. Sorry.
Rat Tifa.
Yeah, rat Tifa. No, when I started hitting like low 40s and that's when I started.
Oof. Yeah, 40s. 40s is fucking glucose now.
Yeah. I mean, I've had mine drop down to I think it's like the lowest mine's ever dropped down to was like 28.
If I seriously am concerned about that's passing out and not waking up territory.
Oh yeah, like I was being like admitted into the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
But if it doesn't go up, I've got an apple juice.
Oh good. I was gonna say I've still got shit tons of fruit snacks too.
I've got more of them too.
I love my fruit snacks. I love them.
Some people, carry around like 12-ounce Coke bottles. That would work, but it's not ideal.
I was always told like the best thing for me was like the peanut butter Ritz crackers.
Those are good. The reason why they're good is that they have the carbs, but they also have some fat to them. Peanut butter and actually the crackers too, which will actually make the glucose hang around a little longer.
Yeah, I mean that's basically exactly what why they told me because the peanut butter would make it go up pretty quickly, and then the bread the crackers would make it last a little bit longer.
But you're probably better eating some of the fruit snacks to get it up a little bit now and then following it 10 minutes later with the crackers. I should consider carrying some of those. Or like some mini Cliff Bars would also be a good idea for much the same reason. If I can get the mini Cliff Bars and peanut butter, it would be perfect. Chilling with me is... You mind if I hand toward you? I always ask when I'm over here.
I appreciate it.
Out here with me is Heather.
Hello.
I am zoomed in. There we go. Heather comes out here fairly frequently.
I try.
And...
There is another bus.
Oh.
Or is that a street car? Nope, it's a bus.
I hear a streetcar too.
Nope, that is a street car. Sorry.
At this time of night, they only run once an hour.
That's a street car. I couldn't tell because the lights were there.
We have a streetcar. The streetcar stop is just the other side of this building, and it's the terminus for the NS streetcar line. Basically, for me, the streetcar is the best way out of here, and for my fiance, it's the only way out of here. Because the streetcar runs on this street to the terminus, and then back up 1 block that way. The buses, to get back that direction are all 1 block that way. And if you're doing 1 block that way, you're climbing, like, even here, you're climbing that hill.
Yeah, it doesn't look like much on the screen, but it is a pretty hill.
All right, I may need to do more than that. Let's see. Oh, scroll. Where are you? $74. We're still at 74. Fine. I could eat more fruit snacks, or I could just drink the apple juice. At this point, it's like if it's not going up yet, I need to do more.
That's why that's why ever since like 2020, I didn't like coming down to protest down here because it limits my the amount of exits that I have. The amount of exits that I have in a wheelchair it's very limited, and so I really didn't like coming down to protest down here.
I mean, you've got more. Katie can't really easily climb up out of here very well. I mean, she isn't really made for a long walk. She just doesn't have the stamina. And she hates me discussing these things, so I will stop doing so. Especially to the entire internet.
Now, like it's gotten like for me, like this is just me personally. You know, I've been in this chair like a lot longer than I was in 2020, and I mean I can go up that hill, you know, a lot easier now.
Yeah.
But
if you're coming down here to go up the hill, but if you're trying it back, you know, the gain stop or the Gibbs stop. Gibbs, you can't even get up there in a wheelchair. There's the OHSU stop.
Oh, okay.
That's where the tower is, and there's a ramp to get up to the elevator, and then the elevator will take you up to the top of the bridge.
Yeah.
But
there's another streetcar.
It doesn't actually take you up to Macadam.
Oh, it doesn't?
And the only way to get up to Macadam is stairs.
Oh, shit.
So, no Macadam from Moody and Gibbs stop.
Well,
but you can go up at Gaines, but at Gaines it's a 45-degree angle straight up, I swear. And if it's not a 45-degree angle, it sure as fuck feels like it.
What I usually do, like the nights that I end up staying down here, like past the streetcars, like after they stop running, and I just end up rolling home.
Mm-hmm.
I just basically follow like the path of where the streetcar
Yeah,
goes.
yeah. And if you've got the stamina to do it, then you know that's what Katie does not have. Several hi Heathers.
Hola.
Real ID costs a fuck ton of money compared to a regular ID. And it's literally, they look at 2 extra pieces of paper to say, yep, that's you.
Birth certificate for one.
They look at your birth certificate. If you have changed your name, you need to bring your birth certificate and proof of your name change. Like court documents.
Which, that's another problem.
Can you not?
I've changed my name several times. And I've got most of them.
But then you need to get the fills.
one that I don't have. And
So-
that's my most recent.
So what you do is you change your name back to the original, and then you change it to your current name, and you get the document of changing to your current name from your original, and just pretend that the others don't exist.
But I would need.
That's fucking stupid, but I mean it would probably work.
I mean, well, because like I would need. Actually, honestly, I really should just go ahead and change my change my last name anyways. Because I mean, I've still got my married last name, and I'm not married anymore. I should just give it a.
My mom kept her married name when she kept her married name to my father, which was weird because after she divorced him because he was a mean drunk and violent. And it was not safe for her or her kids. So ultimately, there was a time where I kind of resented that, but no, she was doing right by herself and her kids.
This is another street.
And later she remarried, and she took.
Wrong way.
I'll figure it out.
Or not.
Wrong way. I assume they
And
turned.
No, they're still going. They're still fucking.
Oh, holy shit!
Straight through the second block. Almost hit a car straight on.
I assume somebody's on some drugs.
Or drunk or something. Yeah. They finally turned. Wow. Like.
I was saying earlier, those signs are up too high. They should move them down to be across from the turn only signs,
That wouldn't make any.
and they need to light them up. Those signs need to be lit. In fact, they basically need to glow.
I mean, they actually have like glowing,
Yeah,
long
LED
range
signs.
Yeah.
The city just needs to do it. Yeah, it's like part of the reason why I was still registered as a Republican for so long was my ID had expired, and I had long since determined there was no sense in getting a new ID if it didn't allow me to travel, especially in the age of Donald Trump the tyrant. So,
Yeah.
I have the advantage of I am not trans, and I have never changed my name ever. So all I needed was my birth certificate, which I do have, and proof of my current address. And I was able to get my ID established as a real ID. All I had to do was pay the is it like $90? $70? So it's
It's outrageous.
it's like 1.5 to 2 times what a regular ID costs. And I remember when an ID cost $13 in Oregon. It hasn't cost that since I've moved back to Oregon. It was a long ass time ago. I mean, 26 years now, pretty much.
And I can't even get on the plane. Because you have to have a real ID.
You do. Fortunately, you can still take buses and trains, but I don't know how long that's going to last.
Yeah.
And I suspect if you tried to take a bus or, well, you can only take a bus here to try and cross the border, they're going to stop you if you are trans. So your only way to get the hell out of this place is to sneak across the border and be arrested on the other side and be like, hey, I'm a refugee, I am trans, and I am not allowed to have basic human rights.
But I'm not one. I won't run anymore.
I figure I can't really go. I don't have the money. My fiance, she might go, but she's got family, and it would break her heart to lose her family because they're not going anywhere. So here I am, here I stand, here I fight, and possibly here I die. I'm a stage 4 cancer patient. I mean, the whole here I die thing is something I had to get used to a long ass fucking time ago now. So the whole point is to make sure that when it actually happens, it's on my terms and it was something worthwhile. Passports cost money too. You can spend $160 on a passport.
Yeah, except for my birth certificate has to. My birth certificate still remain.
So in order to get a passport, you have to get the same fucking. And probably under Trump, you couldn't get a passport
No, I can't.
with trans identity on it.
Nope.
I think you probably could have prior to Trump, but
And
you would have still needed the whole trail of name changes.
well, prior to Trump, all I'd have to do is go down there with my ID
And
show
didn't
them-
Trump revoke passports of trans people?
Yep.
You can pay
Oh,
$165.
there they go.
Oh, there they are.
Two of them.
Well, we got them. And they were the ones that speed the hell out of there. So if there was anybody on the front line, they would have run them over. Or at least come damn close to trying.
Yeah. And because I was born in, well, the state that I was born in, I
Yup.
cannot ever change my gender.
Oh hell, you can't even like live there. You'd be arrested just for being
yeah.
trans. Fucking
Now-
MAGA
now-
pieces of
yeah.
shit.
Don't say like where though.
I don't remember where anyway. There's a couple states like that. I mean, it's a short list.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, so I've long since left the topic, and we just had shift change happen. It's after. They waited till 11:30, bastards. They're doing their best to make sure that people have gone home so they don't get seen leaving.
Yep.
Well, we were here watching. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to call it there. You guys have a good night. And until, well, I guess I will be out here tomorrow. I'm going to come out here tomorrow. I'm going to do it 8 p.m. again. Just because that's going to be a little easier for me to do 8 p.m., I think. I might start doing that for Monday and Tuesday. Man, it would be great if I had just like a regular schedule to be out here doing this. But, yeah, be out here tomorrow at 8 p.m. We'll see what I come up with for a topic, because it's going to be a topic night. But, again, I'm sure that at least something Donald Trump will fucking say, or has already said, will make a good topic. So, take care, everybody. Until tomorrow, have another taco. I am still Joseph. Have a good night.